Under the circumstances, your privileges are reinstated immediately. What do you need?
Guns. Lots of guns.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Tiberious and I am addicted to staccato pistols. I think the only pistol John Wick should ever be shooting is one of these staccatos, hence my corny introduction. At first, my friends at the Elite Indoor Gun Range let me borrow the Staccato P for review. It was the 2019 version. Then my buddy JCO Actual let me borrow the 2020 version of the Staccato P Duo. And now my buddy Johnny has lent me the Staccato XL, which is kind of like the Staccato P, just on steroids. Before we begin, let me quickly do my disclosure. Yes, I work in the firearms industry, but no, that will not affect this review in any way, shape, or form, because these are my opinions and my opinions only. Let me thank my sensational Patreon supporters, my 4 stupendous channel sponsors. I really quickly want to talk about USCCA today. If you have one of these for self-defense or for concealed carry, I highly recommend you look into USCCA, self-defense insurance, self-defense education, self-defense training. There's a link down in the video description. Take a look, click, see if it's right for you. Anyway, let's get into this review. My intention was to only shoot 200 or 300 rounds through this pistol. Ammo right now is hanging around 70 cents a round for inexpensive 9mm, and that's just expensive. I end up shooting somewhere around 500 or 600 rounds through it. It's just such a nice gun. It shoots nice, it tracks nice. It's just shoots super flat. And like always, I get carried away. All staccatos come in this really nice zipper case. It has a spot to hold 5 magazines, and then under this flap is where you tie down the pistol. It comes with one 17-round magazine and then 2 20-round magazines. That's what comes with the pistol. If you are a gangster like my friend Johnny, you can get these 26-round magazines. And that's just silly. These magazines are metal, high quality, they work well. I've never had a problem with any staccato magazine before, but they are not cheap. The way I look at it is if you can afford a pistol that's over $3,000, you can probably afford a magazine that costs over 70 bucks. But just be prepared, they are not cheap. As always, let's start at the bottom and work our way up and then across. So the magwell first. The magwell is great. You don't really need it to lock in your hands unless you have gigantic size hands. The grip is a full-size grip, so my hand doesn't reach the magwell in that way. But as using it as a magwell to feed the magazines in, it is beveled. Really nice. It really helps insert those magazines. The grips on these staccatos are a nice set of G2 style grips. When I first saw these grips a couple years ago or a year ago, whenever it was, I thought they were going to be too slick, and when I first felt them, I'm like, oh, I don't know. But when you shoot it, they're absolutely perfect. There's no problem to it. And while I do like more aggressive grips, these work very well, especially with the heavier weight of the pistol and the lighter recoil of the 9mm. These grips are absolutely fine. As far as aesthetics, I love these grips. I think they are one of the most aesthetically pleasing pistols overall, and definitely on the grip. The back, like most 1911s and 2011s, most of them do have a grip safety, so the gun will not fire unless you depress that grip safety. And there's really no way to grip the gun without depressing that grip safety, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. On the back, your beaver tail is bobbed and short, and it's not very big. Still plenty enough to protect your hand, but it's not huge. The mag release also works well. As you see, it shoots the magazines out of the pistol. It's in a good spot, good size, no issues with it at all. I don't really need to readjust my grip to reach the magazine release, so I am good with the magazine release. One of the best parts about these guns is going to be the trigger. The trigger is very light It's very crisp. It comes in around only 2.5 pounds. So if you are going to carry this gun, which I don't think most people are, be very, very careful with that trigger and your trigger finger discipline. Anyway, the the take-up is non-existent. There is like a couple millimeters of a take-up, and then you get to a good wall, and then a super clean break, and then your reset is very short, only a couple millimeters again. It's definitely audible and slightly tactile. I'll give the trigger overall an absolute A. It is one of the better triggers that I have ever fired. Now the rail on these pistols is a very standard 1913 type of cutout type of rail. It should fit most common lights, lasers, and doohickeys. It is a single cutout rail, and it has a 3/4 dust cover that covers 3/4 of the muzzle of the slide, excuse me. The safety is also very, very nice. It is ambi, so whether you're shooting right-handed or left-handed, or if you're one of those backwards lefty people, the safety works on both sides without any issue. It is tactile, audible, feels good, textured good, shape, size, everything is perfect. I wouldn't change anything about the safety. The slide release on all of these big 1911, 2011 guns is going to be tough to reach for most people. Like, I'm not even close. I have to completely readjust my grip to reach that slide release if you choose to reuse it as a slide release. So what most people will do, and what I did, was you put that magazine in, you use the thumb on your support hand to drop that slide. Not the end of the world. I usually really like to use my thumb on my strong hand to drop that slide release. That's important to me. With these guns being overall, they're so nice, I would absolutely let it slide and still shoot and carry one of these if I had the funds to buy one. But that is always a bummer that you can't reach that slide release. Now the slide on this pistol is very, very long. I mean, extremely long. It's about 8.9 miles long. 8.9 inches long. The finish on it though is a DLC type of finish, which is a good thing. DLC stands for diamond-like coating, diamond-like carbon. I drew a blank, but either way, it's a very, very durable finish that should hold up to normal wear and tear, and holster wear very, very good. The big thing I don't like about this gun is it doesn't have it's not an optics ready gun, and I think every gun, unless it's a super budget friendly gun, should be able to add an optic on there if you choose. I am all about those red dots on pistols now. And for a gun this price, it really bummed me out that it wasn't optics ready. At least I didn't see an optics ready one on Staccato's website. Maybe I missed it, but I looked really good and I did not see it. To get a gun this size with an optics cut, you need to go up to the Staccato XL, which is again a nice, big, beautiful gun. You gain the optics system. It has a built-in compensator, but the problem is it's $1,000 more expensive than this already expensive gun. So that for me was kind of a bummer. The serrations on here, both front and back serrations. The front ones are technically relief cuts, not just serrations, but they are not only are they very, very aesthetically pleasing, they're very, very effective to use them as serrations. Whether you come under, on the top, it takes very little effort to rack this slide as it is. It feels like it's on ball bearings. It just feels fantastic. But the front serrations are great if you run the gun from the front. The sights are excellent. The front is a very bright red fiber optic sight, very easy to pick up, very easy to shoot at distance. The rear sight is also excellent. It is a blacked out rear sight, has some serrations to cut down on glare, and it is adjustable for both windage and for elevation. So field stripping these pistols is a little bit harder than like a Glock type pistol, but it is significantly easier than say a traditional 1911. So there's two little cutouts on the side. One is where the slide release, the slide locks to the rear, and there's a smaller cutout behind it. So right there, that little tiny cutout. What we're gonna do is pull the slide backwards to that smaller cutout, lines up with a little hump on the slide release. And then on this side, we're gonna push the slide release out, and then we're gonna pull it from the other side. And the slide release comes right out. Now you do not need to pull the trigger to take the slide off. Next thing we have to do is push the guide rod and spring forward instead of out. And then you push down this lever and it locks in place. And that's a Dawson toolless design. It works really, really well and very, very simple. Once we're gonna spin it 180 degrees and then it lifts right out. Sometimes words are hard, man. Drop the lug, push the barrel out the front, and then you're good to go. The barrel is beautiful. It is almost 5.5 inches, which is bigger than the entire slide on some of the other firearms I own. It is a bull barrel. You see how it tapers bigger for a better lockup near the end of the muzzle. It has a recessed crown and very, very, very accurate barrel. No doubt it could shoot way more accurate than I can. While I put this back together, we can take a look at the dimensions. Like I said, these are very, very big guns. Just the slide alone is 8.9 inches. It weighs about 38 ounces. You can get them in either a black slide or a chrome type colored slide. I think the black looks significantly better. If I was going to buy one of these pistols, no doubt I would get the black one. It's also available in 9 and 40, which is probably good for some of you competition shooters. I'm trying to get the lug lined up here, and it got pushed. And then the MSRP, $3,400. Like I said, they're not cheap. I do think it's worth it if you have the money and the funds to spend on a gun like this. Then by all means, go for it. It is an absolute beautiful, beautiful pistol. Third try's the charm here, guys. So it wasn't third try is the charm, it was fifth try is the charm. The lug in there that the slide release goes through kept on getting folded up, and I couldn't run the slide release takedown lever, whatever you want to call it. I couldn't run it through there. Normally it's a lot easier than that, but hey, I struggle and I never cut those things out. As far as pros, this is one of the nicer guns that I have ever shot. I can't really compare it to the other really nice guns that I've reviewed because it's been so long since I've shot them. I'd love to get a couple of them together and do a little comparison of like the Staccato P, the CZ Shadow 2, and some of the other really nice ones. I think that would be a lot of fun. The trigger on this gun is sensational. It is it is so light and so short. It's dangerously short and dangerously light. I love that these have a limited lifetime warranty. I love that they're made in the USA. And then again, the overall fit, finish, the slide. If you've never felt one of these and shot one of these, you're really missing out. The slide feels like it's riding on ball bearings. As far as cons, I have one really big con on this gun is that it is not, I don't believe it is available in an optics ready version. Most of Staccato pistols are the Staccato P, the C, the XC. They're all available in a duo or an optics ready version. I don't think this one is, and for me, again, I'm all about those red dots, and that's a big bummer for me. Reliability, I actually had 4 light primer strikes with this pistol. If you don't know what that is when the striker hits the primer and the gun does not go off. You get a click instead of a bang. With that same ammo, it was really cheap Turkish ammo. I don't even know what it was called. I also had light primer strikes with that ammo when I was shooting my SIG P365, and that gun has never had light primer strikes. It actually had 2 with that ammo. When I was either shooting the VP9 or the VP9 long slide for that review, it had 1 light primer strike, and with that pistol as well. So I'm gonna say that those light primer strikes are ammo related issues and not a gun related issue, but regardless, 4 light primer strikes happened with this and other pistols, and I just wanted to make sure you guys knew about it. As far as uses, this is 110% a competition gun. Maybe you could also use it for competitions, and if you're feeling froggy, a competition gun, man, dad jokes, really bad. If you want to use this for home defense, you could absolutely also use it for home defense. It's big, it's heavy, it's reliable, it's super accurate. You throw a light on here and you will be good to go. If you are a little crazy like me, I would absolutely use this as a concealed carry gun. I know it's big and I know it's heavy, but if you get yourself a good holster and you get yourself a good belt, you should be good to go carrying a really big, heavy gun like this. Before you guys go, let me quickly thank my man Johnny. Not only did he let me the H&K VP9 long slide optics ready for a review, he also let me this beautiful Staccato XL, and that is very, very kind of Johnny. Let me also thank you boys and girls for watching, because it is greatly, greatly appreciated. If you are looking to support the channel, the best way to do so is on Patreon. If you are not willing and able to support me on Patreon, no big deal. Just keep those likes and those comments coming, because they really, really help me out. Now, if you want to know what reviews I am coming out with next, please consider subscribing to the channel and enabling the bell notifications. This way, you will hopefully get notified when I come out with a new video. If you want to know what reviews I am working on right now in real time are, please consider following me on Instagram, Facebook, Parler, MeWe, Rumble. I am on every platform, and the links to most of those are down in the video description. I mentioned it in the beginning of the video, but I do have 4 channel sponsors, which are not really channel sponsors. They're just for affiliate links. Check the description for the link and the discount code. But there's Blackout Coffee Company, Dangerous but Good Clothing, USCCA Self-Defense Insurance, and Prime Armor for all of your plate carrier and body armor needs. One more time, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace.